listening to the audio podcast version of The Morning Drive with Brooks Fiesinger.
It's the Morning Drive.
Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Drive. I'm your host, Brooks Fiesinger of BrooksFiesinger.com and MillionaireWho.com, where we help you stabilize your wallet, secure your future, and succeed in entrepreneurship and finance. I'm here today with an exciting journey. I know for most of the conversations, I'm sitting in my Hyundai Sonata, but today I'm actually driving our Porsche Cayenne. Manual transmission, pretty rare, yeah. So I'm headed off this really cool program that I want to tell you guys about, just giving back to the community. It's called Joyride. And so what's actually going to happen is I am going to go there, and I'm going to be driving one of my sports cars around with some kids that get to join the Joyride Club. Many of these kids have special needs and stuff like that, and they really enjoy the opportunity to get in some of these sports cars and to have be part of the club. It's a really cool program, and hopefully I'll tell you more about it a little later. But so I'm headed off to this program, and the idea is, once again, I can use my sports cars and my passion for cars and help these kids have a really good time and just make it a really wonderful day. So I heard about this program through work, and one of my colleagues at work told me that his son participated, and it just made a huge difference in his life, and that it was really great for him. And after I kind of heard that, I always like to help kids, and I especially like to work with kids that might have special needs, and that's conveniently even how I met my wife. So my wife was a special ed teacher, and I was substitute teaching special ed classes and happened to be her substitute teacher, and that's how we met. Kind of cool story. But so I always want to give back, and this program, once I learned about it, I was like, okay, I've got to be part of that. I've got to be part of this program. So I reached out to the person who was running it, and he said, yeah, we could use some more Ferraris. And I said, all right, count me in. And so I signed up. Awesome program, both to participate in and to support. So it's called Joyride. And it's joyridecars.com or .org. And so many cool things have happened alongside with this. Like, the first thing you guys are going to notice is I'm driving my Porsche, and you're thinking, okay, well, you just said you were going to bring your Ferrari. Last night, and I'll overlay the video with a picture of this, but last night I was driving the Ferrari back from Young's Dairy. Actually, I had somebody drive from Columbus to Young's Dairy, and I was driving home from there, and all of a sudden water temperature shot up and check engine light went on, and I shut the engine off and rolled off the side of the hill, opened it up just to find water leak. So whether you're driving a Toyota Corolla or a Ferrari, that kind of stuff hits you sometimes, and it was really unfortunate. So it took a couple of hours, like always, to wait for the tow truck to come pick it up. Tow truck driver was very friendly, knew what he was doing. He was able to take care of it. The problem, however, is the nearest reputable Ferrari shop is about 100 miles away. So he had to tow that car 100 miles up to Columbus, and then here I am without a Ferrari. So tear for these kids. Fortunately, it's amazing how things work out when you're trying to do the right thing. The owner of the shop, the shop's called NJB Automotive in Columbus, and they are amazing working on Ferraris and whatnot. But the owner of the shop, his name is Jack Babbitt. He offered to bring his Maserati down here for me so that we could drive the Maserati, right? So I know a lot of these kids today were really looking forward to driving a Ferrari, and we're really excited about the Ferrari. But what do you do when your car breaks down 6 hours before an event? So unfortunately, the Ferrari broke down. I'm really not happy about that because I absolutely love driving that Ferrari. But nothing I can do about it, right? Life has to go on. The fact that he's bringing this car down, he's driving 4 hours today, bringing this Maserati so I can drive that Maserati for those kids is amazing, and that's awesome. And so I really appreciate NJB Automotive for stepping up and doing that, because that is awesome. So thank you, Jack. So we'll have a Maserati there. We'll be able to drive the Maserati around with these kids. Now there'll be other people there that have Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, and whatnot. So, but again, it always seems like something happens, and you just gotta. We keep talking about keep going, but something's going to happen, and something's going to cause an issue, no matter what you do, no matter when you do it. And as much as we'd love to over prepare and over plan and make sure all the stars are aligned, things are going to happen, and we've got to be prepared for them, and we've got to roll with the punches. And I could waste a lot of time and effort right now being all upset that, oh, how this happened to me, why did this happen, all the poor kids. Or I can sit there and say, you know what, it happened, it stinks, now what, right? And take your 30 seconds to say right? But then after you're done going then sit there and say, okay, so what's the next step? What happens now? What can I do? And in this case, Jack said, hey, we'll help you out with this, and the kids are going to go for a ride, and they're going to have a great time, and it'll be an awesome program. And the fact that they didn't get their Ferrari just means they'll have to come back to another one, because when I get that Ferrari fixed, I will definitely be back. And I'll definitely be spending time with them again and getting back at this awesome program. So, that just comes with the rolling with the punches. But really what I want to talk about today is the idea of giving back. And, it's sad sometimes that people who are wealthier are viewed as selfish. In fact, the word rich often has a negative connotation. But the idea is that most wealthy people I know give back more than they spend on themselves. They use their wealth to help others. And I urge you to do the same thing. And one great reason to be wealthy is be wealthy so you can help others, right? Be wealthy so you can change the world for those around you, so you can make the world a better place. That is a wonderful reason to be wealthy. And unfortunately, if you have $100 million, you can probably make more good happen in the world than you can if you have $100. And I had a conversation with a guy at work the other day about, the idea of, being greedy and taking care of his retirement. And I told him, I said, that's not being greedy, that's being responsible. Because if you don't take care of yourself in the future, then someone else is going to have to take care of you. How greedy is it to expect somebody else to take care of you? Again, not that somebody who has something happen to them, we shouldn't help each other. We should help each other. But how greedy is it to plan because you don't think it's a bad word to say you're going to worry about your future, so therefore you're going to count on somebody else taking care of you? That is greedy. It's not greedy? Being responsible for your future and taking care of yourself. And when you have enough extra wealth that you can start to help other people and take care of other people as well, then that means, you're not just worrying about yourself, you're helping others. And we all have a responsibility to help others, right? It's part of our duty as humans and citizens of America to go out there and to help others. And so, it's essential that we look for those ways to give back, and we look for those ways to help others. And it could be donating to your favorite charity, or it could be, supporting an organization or supporting your church, because all these things can do wonderful things. And in case of, today this is just one of the programs that I do, but I'm going to this Joyride program. And so, once again, part of being successful and part of being wealthy is understanding how to use that to help make the world a better place for all these other people, right? I mean, that's really what it's about, is how can I make the world a better place for everybody around me? And the number of things that you can be part of are astounding. But I will tell you, as many of you realized, when you have a little bit more money and you have a little bit more time, it's a lot easier to do a lot more good in the world. It becomes a lot easier to frankly make the world a better place. It makes it easier to donate to organizations that are important. It makes it easier to take the time to support organizations that are important to us. These are all things that become a lot easier and a lot more effective when we take care of ourselves, and when we take care of our future, and when we make ourselves wealthy, make ourselves more successful, right? Most of the people that are rich and, are greedy aren't wealthy. And that's the thing that really surprises people. It's like, if you've ever read the book Millionaire Next Door, if you haven't, check it out. So the book Millionaire Next Door really talks about how they were looking for millionaires in these affluent neighborhoods, only to find out that those weren't millionaires. The people there weren't wealthy. They were spending everything they had and had nothing in savings. No different than somebody who lived in a poor neighborhood. Then they found out in like the average neighborhoods, that's where all the wealthy people were, sitting right next to everybody else. And that's the truth about wealth today. That's the truth about wealth in America, is that most wealthy people aren't like that person you see on TV that's driving a high-end Lamborghini and living in a $10 million mansion. Most wealthy people, don't know what to do if you give them caviar and a expensive bottle of wine, because they are grounded. They spend less than they earn. They take care of their future. And that's kind of an important takeaway here. So the important takeaway is that it's not about flamboyant showing of wealth. Most wealthy people that are helping society and giving back and making the world a better place, they aren't the ones that are flamboyantly showing off all their wealth. But you know what? They might have a Ferrari in their garage. They might have a lot of other things in their life going for them. They might have a few summer homes or a nice summer home. They might have these things. So it's not that you can't have any of these types of things. It's just that it's how we handle them. Anyway, I'm just getting here now, and I will, I said you'll hear more from me today. All right, here we are. I hate to be that guy doing the selfie at the event, but we're here at the Joyride. All the drivers are getting set up. We're about to go out on the road and drive around these kids. So this should be pretty cool. Here we are, we're just getting started now. Started the engines, kids are getting excited. Getting going now, and we're gonna do our first initial lap, and then we're gonna start picking some kids up. And this is just a really cool, really cool program. It's a lot of fun. I'm really glad to be part of this as a driver. And we're going. We're launching now. Cars are taking off. So I'm stuck behind a Lamborghini. That's a joke. Very nice car, but they're letting the first side go, and then the second side, there's 20 total cars here today. So the excitement is 20 different cars get to go. Each one's taking 5 kids, so you can figure out pretty quickly that means there's 100 kids that get this experience. All right, so here we go. All right, starting the initial lap here. We don't have kids with us for the first lap, but we get the opportunity to kind of go around, figure out the course, and they shot off a bunch of smoke behind us as we were leaving. It's really cool. There's a bunch of Jeeps here that are helping block traffic for the other cars. Thank you guys, Jeep guys, for that. It's cool to see them. You can get an idea here of what the track looks like. A little bit of behind the scenes. Those who know me know I like to only drive manual cars. I'm kind of fortunate that this one's a auto, or not auto, it's a F1, so I'm manually shifting on the steering wheel, so I can kind of do this while I talk. Nice little figure 8 curves. Get an idea of what this is, it's like a simplistic autocross track for those who actually race auto track, but we won't go fast enough to hurt anybody. They say not to go over 20 miles an hour, so we'll keep it under 20. It's kind of funny around turns, even going about 25 miles an hour, you can get a little tire squeal, and depending on the kid, I'm sure that'll get them excited. Some of these are special, or these are all special needs children, so some of them are going to be giddy and excited and say go faster, faster. Others are going to be staying, covering their ears and be a little nervous, and that comes to the territory. So we'll read them. I'm not going to record this while I've got them in the car, although my understanding is Joyride will have some videos on their website, so I will have to direct some people over there for that. But I just thought you'd like to kind of get an idea of how this program was going. But the idea here, once again, it's not about me and this Joyride program. I mean, it is about the Joyride program. It's all about helping these people out. But, it's also about finding ways to give back. And, we talked about it earlier, but when you're wealthy, it's your responsibility to give back. And I believe a lot of people become wealthy because they give back. It works out for them in their own favor, but they don't give back because they expect something in return. They're giving back because that's what we should do as people. And no matter what our financial situation is, we should be giving back. We should be trying to make the world a better place for everybody. And that's what life is largely about. And as we're giving back, when we have, if I didn't have a Ferrari, I wouldn't have a chance to do this. If I didn't have connections with places like NJB Automotive and friends like that, then they wouldn't have been able to help me out when my car did break down. And it's just really cool to see a bunch of people working together, and it's amazing what can happen when you are successful, and what can happen when you are wealthy. And this just ties into everything we've been talking about, because everybody has a responsibility to take care of themselves, and to then once they take care of themselves, you've got to make the world a better place. I mean, that's your responsibility, to make the world a better place. And this is just one little program right here in Dayton, Ohio, in Austin Landing, which is a little place called Miamisburg on the edge of Springboro. And these kind of cool programs are going on all over the world, and there's so many things out there. So I always like to talk about going out there, making the impossible happen. Make the impossible happen for yourself, but also make the impossible happen for other people. Make the world better for those around you. You can do it. You can make the world better for kids. You can make the world better for the environment. You can make the world better for everybody, and that should excite you. I mean, that's so cool that we can actually improve the lives of everybody. I mean, if that doesn't get you jazzed up, I don't know what does. And a lot of times when we have these videos, I get a chance to talk to you guys, and we have these videos, and then these videos we're really talking about how to improve your life and to make your life better. And that's wonderful. You want to make your life better, but we also got to take a minute to talk about how to make everybody else's life better. And the first thing you've got to do to make other people's better is make sure you've got your life under control, right? If your life isn't under control, then you're not going to be in a position to make other people's lives better, right? If I didn't have the cars, or I didn't have the time, or I didn't, have the connections, then there's no way I could have been doing what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't have been able to do part of this program. I wouldn't have been able to help these people. And it's because I've taken care of the things that I can. And so, it's responsible to take care of your future. It's responsible to take care of your life. And when you're responsible taking care of your life, then it opens up the opportunity to then take care of other people. It's like the airplane analogy. When you're on an airplane and the oxygen falls from the ceiling, what do they tell you? They tell you, first put it on your face. After you put it on your face, then, only then after you put it on your face, should you put it on somebody else's. And that's because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of those other people, right? So the first step is take care of yourself. And if you feel like I'm talking about taking care of yourself all the time, it's because so many people aren't. So many people haven't had the opportunity to take care of themselves. And when you don't have the opportunity to take care of yourself, there's no way you're going to take care of other people, right? So first, take care of yourself. Make sure you're not a burden on others. Make the world a better place by not being a part of the problem. Once you take care of yourself and you're not part of the problem anymore, then you have a really great opportunity to start taking care of other people and making their worlds better, right? It's part of a process. You can make the world a better place. And the first thing you gotta do is take care of yourself. Once you take care of yourself, then you're gonna be doing projects like this with a bunch of other great people who are also doing everything they can to make the world a better place, you know? We've got a W12 Bentley here. We've got Aventadors. We've got, a bunch of different Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Porsches and Maseratis, right? And this is the kind of program that's going on here at Joyride, but this is the kind of stuff that that you should be doing. This is the kind of stuff you should be doing. And if you haven't taken care of yourself yet, go take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because you don't want to be a burden. Once you take care of yourself and you're no longer being a burden on others, then you know what we're going to do? Then we're going to step up and we're going to start getting involved with these kind of programs, and we're going to make the world a better place. We are going to, together, be making the world a better place, right? The founder of Joyride, he's got a Ferrari F430, right? He was successful enough to know how to put something like this on. If you want to put something like this on, once again, you take care of yourself first, all right? Take care of yourself first. All right, so I'm about to go pick up some kids now, and we're gonna start taking them for some rides, and this is gonna be awesome. Once again, I'm gonna shut this camera off, but I will definitely reconnect you again. Before we get in with the kids though, I do wanna thank NJB Automotive and Jack Babbitt specifically for graciously coming down and bringing this Maserati down for me to drive, so we didn't have to leave these kids hanging, because once again, my Ferrari broke down last night. So, just now leaving Joyride event, and it was amazing. I feel like I should be paying money to have had the opportunity to do this today. I was a volunteer driving a car, and yet I feel like I should be paying for this, because it felt so amazing to see the smiles on the faces of those kids. And a kid came up and gave me a big old hug and told me about how I was upset about having a Ferrari, right? I was worried that, hey, I was gonna let these kids down, and this kid came and he told me, oh my gosh, my dream was to be in a Maserati. This is the coolest thing in the world. I love your Maserati. He wanted to see the under the hood, and it just seeing him light up like that was unreal. And I did have one kid that was sad he didn't have the Ferrari, but that happens. And I told him, you come back next time, I'll have that Ferrari and I'll give him a ride, and it'll be a blast. And that's just how the world works sometimes, and that's how things worked out for me today. But this program was absolutely amazing. I could see it changing the lives of these kids. They were just overjoyed, and I'm blessed to have been able to partake in something like this today. And Blair's the guy who runs it, and he's just amazing. You can tell he's in it for the, he's got heart, and he's in it to change the world, and that's awesome, because you can change the world, and these kind of programs are how you change the world, right? Making a difference in people's lives, making things worthwhile. And they did a story early on about a kid who was in the hospital and having to go through real invasive treatments, and he was really upset, saying, Mom, I don't want to have to do this, don't make me do it. And got so much care, and her mom promising that she was going to be able to come do Joyride the next week. How cool is that? Most of us don't have to go through that. I've gone through a few days surgery, and it's been awful. I couldn't imagine having to go through something that intense, where I'm that miserable, and especially these young kids. It's awful. And so it's really cool to do this. But while I can get all excited about Joyride and how awesome it is, I also want to bring back what we were talking about before, which is giving back and making the world a different place. And what's the best way to do that? Yeah, you can give money. Giving money is great. You can give time. Donating time is great. Using your vehicle. There's so many opportunities out there, and I really hope that none of you have any inability to find great causes to volunteer for or to give your time. Now, the tough thing, especially for a lot of those of you who are trying to make it and trying to improve your lives, it's difficult because you're working so hard, you don't have the free time, and you might not have the ability to donate 40 hours a week, or maybe you don't have the ability to donate a lot of money to causes that are important to you. And I get it, right? I get it. And There were people here today that I met that were driving along with me that were CEOs of big companies and stuff like that. And I'm sure they have a lot more money and a lot more time than me, and they probably do more good than me right now. But I look forward to, doing more and more good over time and continuing to make the world a better place. And this was just one little thing where, I was able to get involved and make some difference in some kids' lives, and I had something I could bring. I had a car I could bring to the table. And, so often we use cars just to talk to the car friends and stuff like that. But the idea that I could actually bring my car to make people so excited, that's so cool. And I'm sure many of you listening today, maybe you don't have a exotic sports car that you can bring to this event. But you know what? There was like 40 volunteers there that just spent the morning. They spent 4 hours. I know that's a lot of time, but they spent 4 hours to help make the lives of kids, better. That's so cool. But it doesn't have to be something like Joyride. I mean, Habitat for Humanity, I think that's an amazing program. I'm not more involved with Habitat for Humanity because there's a good amount of time commitment. And right now, I unfortunately don't have as much time as I'd want to, but I'm 100% sure that that's the kind of stuff I'm going to get more involved with. And I think you can, each of you listening can find some time or money or resources to get involved. Now, I was talking about Joyride today, but this isn't the only program I do. I've been doing something for years I call Free Consulting Fridays, where I will, work with small businesses in poor areas or younger individuals and help get their businesses rolling and give them feedback and give them advice. And I had someone last night who, Friday, right? Free Consulting Friday. Someone last night who contacted me and said, hey, here's what I'm trying to do in my business. Can you give me feedback? Yes. I've got people who listen to this who I also give business advice to. And unfortunately, I can't give advice to everybody who wants it because there's millions of people who want, that kind of advice. But you can chalk out time to helping people. There's great organizations like SCORE, which is retired executives who help out with other startups and small businesses. Every one of us has something we can give to others to help them. And one of my big goals is I want to maximize what I can give, right? I'm not happy that I can't give more. And it's not that I can't give more because, there's something wrong with me. I can't give more because I don't have more to give yet. But I'm confident I will continue to have more and more and more. And this year, I can give more than I did last year. And next year, I'm going to give more than I did this year. And the year after that, I'm going to give more than I gave this year. And when I think about what's going to happen when I finally hit, that real retirement age, although for those who listen to me, retirement for me is very different than what a lot of people consider retirement, right? I'm never going to quit working. But, when I get towards that retirement age, I'm going to be able to devote a lot more time to causes and those things that are important to me. And I fully believe in weaving good causes into the activities that you do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, if you're a car guy, you can weave in doing this car event like what I was doing here. But if you are into things like, shoes, there's a bunch of really good organizations that go to help kids with shoes. And I know there's a lot of shoe aficionados, right? I'm not a big shoe fan, but I know some people who spend a lot of time and a lot of money oogling and they get excited about shoes. Great. Video games. I had a friend of mine who did this 24-hour video gaming thing to help raise money. He's playing video games for 24 hours, raised money for good causes for, I think, St. Jude. There's so many really great organizations out there. And if there's not an organization that you fit in well, then make one, right? Just like creating any other sort of organization, any other business, go create the organization. Do you love sewing? Great, go start, get some people and start sewing blankets for people in hospitals. I know when my daughter was born, we got, someone sews or, doesn't sew, but knits hats for the newborns. I mean, that's so cool, isn't it? Well, if you love sewing, go knit for the newborns. A lot of times when we think about having to give back, we think of it as being something that has to be taxing. And while it's great to give back, if you can give back in ways that you enjoy too, if you leave there being like, man, that was so fun, I feel like I need to pay for it. I mean, that's great, right? Like what's wrong with doing a lot of good in the world and feeling rewarded yourself that it was a lot of fun and you help people and it's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And so you can, giving back is important, very important. But when you're giving back, you can give back in a way that doesn't completely conflict with the things that you love. How much should you give? I love giving time. I also love giving money, but I also know you got to vet the organizations you give to. This Joyride group is great. There's some groups out there I've heard that really don't, give much of your money to the final cause. A lot of the money gets eaten up by big salaries and stuff like that. You want to do due diligence when you get involved with the cause. That's why I like to be more involved with causes. I like to deal with causes that I can be there. For example, I know in Middletown, they've got this great event for Gold Star families, and I think it's excellent. Once again, I don't have any problem donating money to that cause because I also go there with them, and I drive them, and I watch them, and I see the money doing good. And so, there's a lot of great causes you can send money off to, but there's something really cool about causes that you can actually involve yourself with and really get deeper than just, sending a check. And sending a check is great, but if you can actually, touch the lives of people and get involved with them and donate both money and time, then it is really rewarding, both for those that you touch, but also for yourself. I mean, I feel just ecstatic that I was able to do this today, and I had no idea really even what I was going to get into before I went out there today, but this Joyride program is absolutely amazing and does a lot of good. And if racing fast sports cars isn't it for you, then go out there and find the it for you. There's a biker on the side of the road and I didn't hit him. So once again, there's so many causes no matter what your hobby is. And if you're not involved with something, go get involved, right? Go get involved. You didn't have to take up your life. And then also, once you get involved, use that as motivation to be even more successful. My wife said to me today, she said, we need to become richer. And I was like, why? She said, because you're taking a Ferrari, I want to bring a Lamborghini. I want to have two cars there. I want to make double the difference. And, some people might say, oh, isn't that greedy? You want two Ferraris and Lamborghinis. But the excitement was that, she wants to participate in that giving thing. And, the wealthier you are, the more opportunity you have to give. You can found schools, you can found organizations, you can, even hire people to help move your cause forward. But while sometimes companies get a bad rap, if you take a minute and look around, you're going to notice that a whole lot of people at a whole lot of companies are doing amazing things. And, when they're doing amazing things, that just makes our world better. And, there's some bad eggs out there. And don't be a bad egg, don't be one of those people who gives rich people a bad reputation, and start that now. Hold yourself to a higher standard. You can hold yourself to a higher standard. There's no reason you can't hold yourself to a high standard. And so don't be those people, because one of the big things, we hit this earlier, but like the Millionaire Next Door talks about, a lot of those people that give rich people a bad name aren't rich. The people that I was spending time today with, running around Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Audi R8s and Maseratis and all this kind of stuff, they weren't, typically the flashy person that says, look at me, I'm amazing. That's not who they are, right? Because that kind of person isn't going to volunteer their time to help kids. That kind of person is too busy looking successful and acting like they're special, right? When you get around real wealthy people, and you get around people who really made their money, like you're going to, or you have, or you are, right? When that's you, these are the kind of programs you become a part of. These are the kind of things that you do because you're a good person and you want to make the lives around you good, right? You get excited that you're hiring people and giving them work. I love the idea that I am actually, with my companies, hiring people and giving them work. That paycheck they're getting. And the reason why I'm able to give them a paycheck is because we're adding value to people. We're making other people's worlds better. At one of my main jobs, I don't own the company, but I was able to start a new department and hire new people. Those new people that we hired because of the new products and ideas we came up with, that's people that now have an additional paycheck. It's using them to create more and more value for the world that we live in. I mean, that's so cool, right? And then as you become wealthier and wealthier, once again, you can now start donating more and you get more involved with these organizations. You can make these things happen. I'm honest, I could be talking completely out of turn, but I could just about guarantee you Blair, the founder of Joyride Cars or .org, would have a hard time doing this had he not made connections and he not had some level of success in his career, right? And in his life. And he was able to use that and leverage the same skills you use for that to start a first-rate organization. And this first-rate organization is darn impressive. So once again, you're hustling, you're making your life awesome right now, you're improving your lives. That's great. And but you can't stop there. You also have to start thinking about others, and I'm sure most of you are. But other people are important too, and you can start using your new skills, your new connections, or your new wealth, or whatever you have to go make the lives of other people better. Because that's why we're here on this earth, right? We're here to make the world better. We're here to make the lives of those around us better. And I was fortunate to be part of this thing. Now you should as well, okay? So thanks a lot for listening today. I really appreciate you going. I know this was non-conventional. Maybe it was less of a lecture, more of a conversation and a show off of a cool program. I'll try not to do this kind of stuff too much, but it really is an awesome program. And I couldn't help but share this experience. And so I hope you can find your experience, because when you go find your experiences and you go involved, then you can make the impossible happen.
Learn more at MillionaireWho.com.
It's the morning drive.